Hey, everybody. It is Peter and Sel back from Strong Healthy Women. Welcome to Talking Wellbeing TV, where we share hints, tips, and advice about the foundations of wellbeing. Move, eat, live. How are you today, Sel?
Good, thank you. How are you, Miss Peter?
I'm really good, thank you.
Super.
So we have been offline for almost a whole entire week. I think we got online on Sunday for the first time. Then we had a public holiday on Monday. So we've been a little bit inconsistent with our lives, but we are back and we are on track today. So super excited about that. So
Yes.
we've been talking, last week we started talking about the beginner quick start exercise guide, which we've got, and it's a free download for you. So all you need to do is click on the link and grab that. So we've been talking about the various reasons that exercise is important to us, why it's great to have a coach, how to go about taking those first steps. But today we wanted to talk about the chatter in our heads. And primarily that chatter comes out in the forms of reasons that we can't do something, whether that be exercise or not. And I think the number one thing that we hear a lot is, I don't have time. Or at least that's the one I hear a lot of. Is that the one you hear a lot of, Sel?
Yes. I don't have
Yeah.
time. Yes. Or motivation.
Yeah.
That's another one. That's another huge one is motivation.
Yeah, there's a big one called motivation. Yeah, that's right. So time and motivation probably be the top two, I think, that we hear. There's many of them, but they would definitely be the top two. So I wanted to talk about time because sometimes what we do is we think that exercise has to take up a lot of time. It doesn't need to. It can be as simple as something you do for 5 minutes. And I've been asked this question before, is 5 minutes enough? Well, 5 minutes is more than nothing at all. So it's definitely enough because it is getting you started.
Yes.
And what it is doing is improving you from the inside out. So I think 5 minutes is better than nothing at all, even 3 minutes. It wouldn't matter what it is. Any moving is better than no morning moving at all. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. If it
Mm.
gets off the couch, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, totally. And so, Sal, have you ever used that time reason? Like, I don't have time to do something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think we've all used that excuse.
Mm,
Especially when the kids were littler, you know, and probably not so much now is because they're more, well, they're growing up now. I have one that is an adult, so he can get himself around, and I have two teenagers.
two
But
that are
when they,
adults.
yeah, two that are adults. Oops.
Yeah. Oopsie.
Oopsie. um she's a real homebody though, so you forget about that, you know
Yeah.
whereas
Hmm.
whereas my son is like, I don't think I've seen him for 2 days.
Mm.
um But yeah, I think when they're little, you use time as an excuse because your focus is completely on them. You know, I've got to get them to school. I've got to pick them up from school. They've got homework. They've
Mm.
got school. Um, yeah, lots of different things.
Yeah, so we have like 168 hours in the week. And if you were to break it down and let's say the recommended exercise is 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. So what's that pan out to be? 30 minutes by 5, 3.5 hours, or
Yeah,
thereabouts. Yeah.
yeah,
So if you were to think about that from a percentage perspective, it really works out around less than 2%.
yeah,
So it's less than 2% of your time that's required to have some level of structured exercise in your
yeah,
life. So and I think in these instances, it's a matter of reframing how we think about it, rather than saying, I don't have time to exercise. I have time to put myself first is another way of looking at it. And I'm going to do that through exercise, because I know when I exercise, it's not just good for me physically, but it's definitely good for me emotionally as well too. From a mental perspective, it certainly keeps our state in a better frame of mind as well too.
I think we sometimes have that misconception too, or we have that idea in our head of what that exercise should be. So, you know, if we go for a walk, you know, it should be for an hour. If we are strength training, it's, you know, an hour and a half in the gym. You know, or if we're doing a group fitness class, then they're always an hour long, and it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's right. And that's one of the reasons that I personally love working out at home, because it's such a time saver, because you're not having to get in a car. Well, you're not having to get dressed, drive, and get in a car and drive yourself somewhere, and then start the exercise routine, and then drive yourself home, and get yourself organized for the rest of the day. So you've got to be saving time there when you do exercise at home. And I know that could roll on to another excuse, which is, I'm not motivated to work out at home. And you've alluded to motivation being one of those bigger reasons that we give ourselves. What words of advice do you have in regards to that, Sal, when you say that I'm not motivated to work out at home, or I'm just not motivated?
I don't search for the motivation. Put motivation aside, and your goal is consistency. So make it consistent. My biggest positive talk that I have in my head when I do any form of exercise is, okay, I did it yesterday, so why can't I do it today? There's no reason why I can't do it today, because I proved to myself that I did it yesterday. So I think you've just got to get that consistency happening. You just say, okay, today's the day. I get up and I do my workout, whatever that workout may be. And then from there, follow on with that consistency. And I think the consistency then builds the motivation.
Yeah, certainly when you're starting to feel better, when you're starting to even see results, it starts to have your motivation feel that little bit higher than what it was in the past. Now, you said something interesting there, which led me to the next thing, because you made a statement which said, I tell myself I did it yesterday, so there's no reason why I can't do it today, which could possibly lead into another excuse as well too, or another reason for not doing it, which is, I did it yesterday and I'm feeling sore. Yes. So therefore I'm not going to exercise. So you can see how this very first reason that happens in our head can actually have this snowball effect to give us more and more reasons not to do something. And it works in the reverse as well too. So if you find the reasons to do it, then you become more motivated, you become more consistent, and you have more reasons to actually exercise. It's taking that first step that's the difficult one as well too. Now, what would you say to someone who was saying that they're sore because they exercised yesterday, so therefore they're not going to exercise today?
Take it from experience. If you're sore, move. The moving helps. Yeah. Because it loosens everything up. So, if you are sore from yesterday, and Peter and I were chatting last night about the different workouts that we did yesterday, and my shoulders, I was just getting set up then, and my shoulders, I can feel them, but that's not going to put me that's not going to put me off from my workout tomorrow, because I know there's a reason they're sore, because they're getting stronger. they're getting,
Yes.
I'm keeping that mobility happening and I'm keeping that flexibility happening. And I know that if I get in there tomorrow and do my workout again, it's going to help them. But the other thing too is it's going to make me work harder. It's a catch-22. It's going to make me work harder to
Mm.
get that feeling back, because I love that feeling. I love that feeling of going, oh wow, I've worked my muscles today and I've done a
Mm.
strong workout. That's the feeling that I love. So, your focus has to be on that soreness being a good thing.
Yeah. We've got a fairly, I would say, simpler workout that we're doing in the FitFlex studio this week.
This week,
There's
yeah.
only one exercise that's that little bit more difficult. So the rest are relatively easy. So instead of coming in with low number reps this week on Monday, we started with higher reps and we continue to increase it. And what happened is when we got to the end of the sets in the time that we had allocated, and that time is only 20 minutes, we discovered that we'd done 95 repetitions of each exercise. Now, if I was to say, let's go do 95 repetitions, you'd get this shut down straight away. But because it was broken up exercise after exercise after exercise in smaller chunks, it was definitely more doable. And the same thing applies to when you're taking those first steps. Don't think about it as being something monumental or what that end goal is. I'm just going to do that very first step. And that's when it becomes a lot easier to approach it and to actually get something done. Now, of course, we didn't stop at 95, because when I actually added that up in my head and I went, oh, that's just a ridiculous number to stop at. We have to do another 5, ladies. So we all jumped out and we all did another 5. I think there was a little bit of eye rolling going on, but that didn't stop us. So we still did it. So we got to 100. And I mean, that in itself is amazing, that we did, this is on Monday, so we did 100 of each exercise. So I did that, plus I did my run. But what happened was on the Tuesday morning, I went, oh, okay, I can feel this. So definitely there was an impact on my body. So I was feeling it in my hamstrings, my quads, my glutes, and my obliques. And so I jumped on and did, 3 very simple, easy stretches for the ladies to follow along yesterday, so that they weren't feeling that muscle soreness. Because what can happen is when we have muscle soreness, we stop ourselves from doing the next session. Do you agree?
Yes, we do. And we see
Yes.
that a lot.
Yeah.
We see that a lot. I'm
Mm.
sore. I better rest my body.
Yeah.
And it's always going with, we tend to go with the negative rather than going with the positive. I'm sore. Oh, I
Mm.
better go and get my body moving.
Yeah. Again, it comes down to reframing that, oh, wow, I feel like I can feel my workout in my body. So rather than thinking about it from a soreness perspective, I can feel the workout in my body is a much better chatter to have in our head, because then it doesn't stop us from moving forward. One of the things that I did mention yesterday, though, was to keep moving, because if we sit, we're going to make that stiffness, that soreness feel even worse than what it is. And so even this morning when we came into the workout, I could feel it as I started, but both you and I had done a full body weight workout the day before. And I know that when I finished today, and even like, just a few minutes ago, I moved and I went, wow, I can really feel my abs today as well too. So, I've got this compounding effect happening on my body, which is fabulous, because I know what's happening is that I'm starting to feel it in the other parts of my body, and I'm starting to really connect with those parts of my body through the exercise. And I know that's something that you always preach, you know, connect your mind with your body and really focus on what you're doing.
Mm.
Do you have anything to add to that, Sal?
Yes, big believer in that. You know, if you're in your workout, you know, you connect with your muscles, discover what they're doing, how they're moving, how your body's moving. If you are sore, you know, take that moment today. You know, so today, as I said, my shoulders are starting to feel sore. So I'm connecting with that soreness and discovering where they're sore and going, okay, yep, that's good. Sometimes, you know, when we're doing our workouts, and, you know, you and I both know that there can be workouts that we do and we won't feel the soreness at all.
Yeah.
You know, and as I said before, that's a feeling that I love. But you've got to make it the positive. So when you do your soreness, when you can feel that soreness, you go, okay, this is great. I can now do a wonderful stretching session. You know, so you can get those muscles stretching and moving again.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that you say that, Sol, because one of the things that I've noticed over the years is that as we become more wiser in our years, we really appreciate the stretching and we will take the time to do the stretching. When we're younger, we tend not to do that so much. And it's later in life that we feel the effects of it, that because we haven't stretched. So, you know, we've shortened everything up because we haven't been doing the work that we needed to do. So then we go, oh, okay, I can't reach as far as I used to. So, but, you know, the wonderful thing about muscles is that they do have memory. So, you know, you can start to work on that and improve it definitely as well. The other thing that I thought of this morning, I really love the fact that Roz was feeling sore in her shoulders on Monday. And so, but instead, and she waited till Tuesday to see if there was, you know, if it had recovered or not. But she didn't wait for that. She went, okay, I'm just going to head off to the physiotherapist and get it checked. And, you know, they said to her, you know, it's muscle soreness, but let's just take it easy for the rest of the week. And, you know, so she went through the exercises she was doing, and you know, she came into the studio this morning and told us and said, should I just not do anything? And we said, no, you should definitely do something, because what we can do is modify that for you. So because he had instructed her not to, you know, have shoulders, arms above the head. And so we just modified those exercises that little bit for her. So she did the whole workout and she did exceptionally well at it as well too.
So this is the thing, you know, with Roz, and this is what Peter and I are talking about taking that first step. So Roz has been with us just over 12 months, and her gorgeous cousin brought her to Strong Healthy Women, and she was not an exerciser, not an exerciser. So you think that she's taken that first step, and this is where it comes to, I believe that it comes to consistency. She's taken that first step. She's gotten stronger. You know, she's come 3 times a week and she's gotten stronger. And so over that year, you know, come to Tuesday, she's got sore shoulders, but she still came in this morning. And that's where her consistency is, and that's where her motivation, I believe, comes from. Because it's now just part of her life and it's part of her routine 3 times a week.
Yeah, and like Roz turned 70 last year. I mean, not that you'd know that to look at her. She looks amazing. And for her, I believe that it wasn't so much about you know, a lot of people start an exercise routine because they want to lose weight. And for Roz, it was not about that. For her, it was about mobility and flexibility, and also from a mental perspective as well too. So, you know, giving her, because she's not, you know, she's not doing anything. She's at home. So, and sometimes we forget about those things, you know, when we're so busy in our lives when we're younger, that all of a sudden when we get to, you know, that retirement age and beyond, we may very much be not out and about with other people, and we might just have our life inside our home and, you know, with our family. And so that connection can be a really, really important aspect of it as well too, to feel like you're physically connected to other people, even though you don't have to be in the same room as them. You know that they're heading in the same direction as what you are, that they are, you know, working on their health and their well-being just like you are. And so you start to chatter with them before, you know, the session starts and after the session as well too.
Yeah.
Any other words of advice or wisdom, Sal?
As I said, I just always go back to just take that first step. Don't think of it as, you know, if you are starting out exercise, don't think of it as this big whole, I have to work every muscle from my shoulders down to my ankles in one session.
Yeah.
It could just be 3 exercises that you pick, and it could be squats, push-ups, and lunges.
Jumping jacks. Yeah.
Jumping jacks. Just pick, you know, 1 exercise, 2 exercises, 3 exercises, and do 10 reps of 3 sets. You know, that's 10 minutes. And then tomorrow, do it again. Tell yourself, yesterday I did it, so today I can do it as well. If you are sore, slow it down. It doesn't have to be as fast as you did. You know, there's always reasons and solutions that you can find, positive reasons and solutions that you can find to do it the next day.
Yeah, totally. So we've talked about today quite a number of reasons that pop up that can stop us from taking those first steps. The first one being time, the second one motivation, the third one that I'm too sore. But if we can change the chatter in our head from being that negative chatter and reframing it as something more positive, then what happens is you find that those reasons don't stop you from taking that first step. What happens is when you've changed the talk in your head, it actually means that you will take that first step. And I think it's really important to know that that first step doesn't have to be a massive step. It just needs to be a step. And I'm just thinking of one of the ladies who has just registered with us to do our 2 free weeks that we have coming up, Sal. And I know that she's in one of the other groups that Sue has, and she started a walking challenge with Sue. So they were just walking and walking and walking, and that's what's got her motivated. And she's been doing this now consistently for some months. I think she started it, you know, early in the year. And so now she's got to the stage where she's ready to address her strength and her flexibility, which is fabulous because she knows that's her next logical step. Because sometimes what happens is we can stop at one thing. Yeah, so we can go, I just like walking, so that's what I'm going to do. Or I just like Pilates, so that's what I'm going to do. But our body craves, yearns, and responds to different activity.
Yes.
And that's why it's important, as we mentioned the other day, is to have that coach on your side, because they will mix it up for you. They will challenge you, and your body will love you for it. It mightn't love you for it at the time, but it will definitely love you for it when it feels all those rewards as you move into your everyday life.
Yes. Yes.
So, ladies, that's a bit of a wrap up for us. That was a big one. I really enjoyed that topic today, Sel.
I did like that.
So, ladies,
That was a good topic.
Yeah, great topic. So, ladies, if you haven't grabbed it, I should get closer so you can see it. I should print these things in color, like seriously, stop being a black and white girl. But anyway, so the guide we've got this month is the beginner's guide, quick start guide to exercise. So it has all of the reasons how to reframe your mind. And then all the benefits of exercise, and it's even got a 14-day program in it so that you can get started. And of course, we've taken it one step further, that all you have to do is click on the last page in here where it's got 2 free weeks, and you can come and work out with us. So that's available on the 19th. So anybody who's starting with us is starting on the 19th, and we're going for 2 weeks in October, and we're looking forward to helping you, reach those starting points for you when it comes to building strength and flexibility.
And can I just add to that with the 2 free,
yeah,
2 free
sure.
ladies? If you look at that and you go, oh, 2 free weeks. Wow, okay. Look at it as, okay, I'm going to do my first free workout. Break it down, break everything down, and get through it that way.
Yeah, that's right. Or you might be looking at your calendar right now going, well, hang on a minute, there isn't. I got this on, and I've got that on, and I've got something else on. So that time factor that we were just talking about is starting to play out. So reframe that time factor into, well, you know what? It's only 40 minutes, and I can give myself 40 minutes because I totally deserve 40 minutes to feel better about myself. Yeah, totally. Thanks for joining me today, Sel.
You're very welcome, Peter. You have a wonderful afternoon. Hump day.
I will indeed. You and your hump days.
Hump day.
All days seem the same to me. All right, ladies. Thanks for joining us today, and we will be back on Friday. I can't believe that, the year is just going in front of my eyes. So,
I know. Christmas.
All right, ladies. Take care.
I'm just throwing that out.
I know.
Bye.
See you, Sal. Bye. Bye.